Hello, welcome to McDowell Strategy and Tactics, and thank you to our subscribers. In this series, we play through each of the battles in the American Grand Campaign in Close Combat 4, the Battle of the Bulge. We use historical World War II US Army doctrine to plan and conduct each battle. We start on the strategic map. It is 1600 hours on December 18, 1944, and the weather is foggy. Air support and artillery have been allocated, and there are no supply drops. In the last episode, the US 7th Armoured Division's Combat Command Baker fought the German Kampfgruppe Waldenberg from the 116th Panzer Division at Klurf. The battle was a total American victory, and the German Kampfgruppe was forced to disband. The next battle is at Wiltz, between the US 110th Regimental Combat Team of 28th Division and the German Kampfgruppe Hansen from the 1st Panzer Division. Commander, Wiltz contains a large number of buildings which will provide excellent cover for both attacker and defender. Expect the Germans to initially focus on seizing Chateau de Wiltz. In this terrain, you should be able to overcome any disadvantage in armour strength. Watch for isolated panzers. It is vital that you hold this position. On the US side is an American infantry battle group from the 110th Infantry Regiment under command of Captain Seeley. It moves slowly and reserves are full. The company consists of 3 platoons. 1st and 2nd platoon are infantry, and 3rd platoon is a support platoon with 2 anti-tank guns and a mortar. The original squads retain their names and statistics. The battle group has been reinforced and brought up to full strength following its battle at Wiltz yesterday. Let's rename the new squads off camera. Now, let's review each of the squads. 3-1 is 3rd Platoon Headquarters. 1-1 is 1st Platoon Headquarters. 1-2 is a BAR squad. 2-3 is a rifle squad. 3-5 is a recon team. 3-3 is a 57mm anti-tank gun. 3-2 is also a 57mm anti-tank gun. 2-5 is a Browning 30 caliber medium machine gun. 1-5 is a Browning 30 caliber medium machine gun. 3-4 is a 60mm light mortar. 1-4 is an M9 bazooka team. 1-3 is a rifle squad. 2-1 is 2nd Platoon Headquarters. 2-2 is a BAR squad. And 2-4 is an M9 bazooka team. Next, let's look at the map and conduct a commander's estimate of the situation. Our mission is to defend Wiltz. Wiltz is a large town at the foot of the Chateau de Wiltz. The chateau is built on a hill overlooking the Wiltz River to the north that winds its way from east to west, fed by a small creek to the southeast. The eastern approaches to the chateau are wooded slopes, and the chateau dominates the road into Wiltz. The town itself consists of numerous winding streets with close-packed multi-storey buildings either side. In the north is a railroad running east-west to the railroad station. To the south, on the Grand Rue, a large warehouse building stores agricultural produce from the surrounding farmlands. This is what Wiltz looks like today. This is complex terrain because observation in most parts of the town is much less than weapon ranges. Most action will be fought at close range. However, the chateau has commanding views of the surrounds, as does the 2-storey building to the northeast. The briefing told us that Wiltz contains a large number of buildings which will provide excellent cover for both attacker and defender. The wooded slopes to the east also provide concealment. The whole town is an obstacle to movement, as the streets canalize vehicle movement along predictable lines, and the buildings overlook the streets. It is a defender's dream and an attacker's nightmare. The chateau, with its commanding views and thick walls, is the obvious key terrain. Approaches to Wiltz from the east are either the narrow road between the river and the chateau in the north, or the wooded slopes to the south. This is our first encounter with Kampfgruppe Hansen, and the fate of the Lehr division is unknown. The briefing warns us to expect the Germans to initially focus on seizing Chateau de Wiltz. This is reasonable given that American possession of the chateau prevents vehicle movement along the road into Wiltz. The infantry assault on the chateau could be supported by vehicles along the road. The killing zone would remain the eastern half of the chateau and adjacent roadway. Alternatively, the Germans could move around to the south and try to infiltrate Wiltz rather than conduct a direct assault. In previous battles, the Germans have dedicated tanks and infantry to this avenue of approach. The Germans could move infantry squads up the wooded slopes close to the buildings, and then rush the buildings to overwhelm defenders. The infantry could be supported by tanks on the slopes. The killing zone would remain the open ground along and adjacent to the Grand Rue. We will continue to meet the German attack head-on, but with further modifications due to lessons learned from previous battles. First Platoon will need to move quickly to seize and hold the central part of the chateau. Once again, the buildings are likely to be the scene of vicious close combat. Third Platoon will remain dispersed. The recon team will remain in the two-storey building to the north to provide observation into the German rear area. And 3rd Platoon headquarters and the mortar will remain close to the chateau to provide a situational reserve if required. An anti-tank gun to the north will cover the road north around the chateau. This position was effective in previous battles. 2nd Platoon will cover the southern approach. Drawing on lessons from earlier battles, they will now fall back to lure the Germans forward into an anti-tank ambush. The 2nd anti-tank gun in 2nd Platoon's position will cover the road east and the open ground south. 2nd Platoon's bazooka will support them with similar tasks. The 2 infantry squads and medium machine gun will guard the anti-tank positions, with 2nd Platoon headquarters at the base of the defensive position. I have made my decision and have placed the platoons and squads in position. And so we begin. First platoon push forward into the chateau.
Area secured. Enemy spotted. In position. Enemy spotted.
A heavy machine gun half-track moving north.
Incoming! In the dirt! Sergeant!
1-5, the medium machine gun opens up on infantry in the chateau grounds. The battlefield is scarred from previous battles.
Enemy spotted.
And littered with knocked out German vehicles.
Move completed. Team redeployed.
The Sonderkraftfahrzeug 251x1 is immobilized.
Take people!
And abandoned by its crew. To the south, panzers and infantry move up the slope. Second platoon maintains ambush positions.
Keep your heads down.
One 3 withdraws from the building face to avoid tank fire. They move behind 1-2.
Move completed.
2-2 also withdraws from the building front. Acosta in 2-5, the medium machine gun, targets German infantry in the open. 3 Panzer IV. We need the panzers to take the bait.
In position.
(3-3) fires at the Panzer. Which pops smoke. The BAR squad withdraws. The Panzer IV is knocked out. To the north, the battle continues. A grenade duel. The BAR squad has not withdrawn in time. Brutal hand-to-hand fighting in the chateau.
Team redeployed. Team down.
The squad all dead. WW2 withdraws. More brutal hand-to-hand fighting at the chateau. The panzers have moved forward but are reluctant to take the bait.
In position.
Bloom moves forward to put enfilade fire on the German infantry.
Serving ammunition! Ammunition! Köpfe runter!
First platoon has held the line in the north. O'Neill on the medium machine gun has dealt with the German infantry in the south and goes to ground. First platoon now cautiously advances into the chateau.
Get moving, soldier!
The mortar fires at the panzer in an effort to make it move.
In position.
The last German resistance in the chateau overcome.
Incoming!
A panzer is moving north, firing at the chateau. The Americans withdraw.
Move completed.
The panzer takes the bait and moves into the ambush.
Team redeployed.
A single flanking shot by the 57mm decides the matter. The mortar has not had the desired effect and ceases fire. Second platoon has held its defensive position. A German Panzerschreck squad moves forward.
Unter Beschuss!
The German platoon headquarters is killed while moving in the open. And first platoon move to reclaim their position in the chateau.
Move completed.
The Befehlspanzer is not moving, perhaps immobilized by fear. The heavy machine gun half-track abandoned.
Team redeployed.
Abel's medium machine gun squad redeploys to a better firing position. The Panzerschreck squad are shot down in the road.
Enemy spotted. Serving ammunition.
Schmeißt euch hin!
Abel's team now target the Sonderkofferzeug crew. And the mortar reinforces with fire. The the Befehlspanzer remains in position behind the buildings. Decisive American victory. The battle ended because time ran out. Both sides still control some victory locations. The Americans won the battle because they control a greater number of crucial victory locations than the Germans. The Americans lost 9 killed and 10 wounded. The Germans lost 24 killed, 17 wounded, and 2 tanks destroyed. The abandoned half-track is not included in the tally. Let's examine the American squads. Lieutenant Williams and Blackwell from 1st Platoon Headquarters are seriously wounded. Ewing's BAR squad is wiped out to a man, all dead. Inman's rifle squad loses 3 seriously wounded and 1 dead. Abel did some work on the medium machine gun. Evans's BAR squad was hard hit, with 4 seriously wounded and 1 killed. Only Henry remains, but he held his ground. Traffenstedt is dead, killed by an unlucky bullet. Waters and Barnes in 3-3 are each credited with a tank kill, and each awarded the Combat Infantryman's Badge. Acosta seriously wounded. So far, the campaign remains a major American victory. The Grand Campaign has 14 days remaining. Your defence of the Ardennes is progressing better than your historical counterparts. The defence of Wiltz was costly in American lives, but prevented the Germans from widening the Bulge into American lines. Over the campaign, cumulative American losses are 189 killed in action, 182 wounded in action, 13 tanks, 2 vehicles, and 11 guns. Cumulative German losses are 459 killed, 385 wounded, 56 tanks, 51 armoured vehicles, and 1 anti-tank gun. So, what did we learn? 1st Platoon's battle for the Chateau remained a brutal close-quarters fight with grenade duels and hand-to-hand combat. But 2nd Platoon's battle in the south was a good lesson in flexibility. Even though we have fought multiple battles over the same ground, we are constantly adapting our approach, using lessons learned from previous battles. In this battle, 2nd Platoon withdrew its main line of resistance west, and instead created an anti-tank ambush. This ambush succeeded in destroying 2 Panzer IV and halted the 3rd. Just as Doctrine suggests, the built-up portions of the town canalised the hostile attack along the streets approaching the position, but permitted small enemy groups to work unobserved through or over buildings. Each of these groups was stopped with small arms fire, and 2nd Platoon ended the battle in the same defensive positions as it started. This was a much better defensive position than the forward defence in previous battles. Finally, I resisted the temptation to push 2nd Platoon's bazooka team forward to deal with the Befehlspanzer. Had I instead taken this risk and knocked out that last tank, the German Kampfgruppe may have been forced to disband, and the outcome of the battle may well have been a total American victory. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and donate. And stay tuned for the next episode.